Welcome back, everyone, to episode 4 of Call Me CEO. I am your host, Camille Walker, and I'm so excited about today's episode. If you've ever had an idea or a creation or invention in your mind that you are so passionate about, but you're not quite sure how to get that product to market, you're going to love today's episode with Teri from STELLARGIRL, who shares a story about how she created an at-home glitter lotion that got so much attention she decided to make a business of her own. What I really love about the STELLARGIRL brand is that it is all about female empowerment of any age, anywhere across the world, and that you have a voice and an inner shine that is available to everyone. And everyone's voice is different, and everyone's voice sounds different, and that is exactly how it should be. So if you're thinking about something unique, something that you want to share, go after that. Let's listen how Teri went after her dream. So you want to make an impact. You're thinking about starting a business, sharing your voice. How do women do it that handle motherhood, family, and still chase after those dreams? Well, listen each week as we dive into the stories of women who know. This is Call Me CEO. All right, welcome to the show. I am so excited to have Teri Tkachuk here with us today. Did I say it right that time?
You said it perfectly.
Oh, that is a major win. We're already off to a great start. So it is such an honor to meet you. I love meeting new women entrepreneurs that are chasing after their dreams and making things happen. And I can't wait for our audience to get to know you. Please tell us more about what you do and the business that you started.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to meet you as well. And I followed your blog. It's very inspiring to me as a mom of 4. But I would love to talk to you about STELLARGIRL, which is why we are here in this movement that is so close to my heart. And it's full of positivity and love and joy and hope and laughter. And when we started this movement and this community, we really wanted to bring together all women, all girls, and really make a safe place for having just that stellar mindset, having a, get up and get it done, have some grit. Let's really focus on ourselves, but also each other, and support and elevate and uplift each other. And we should all be celebrating extraordinary women. And I think there's a little bit of a void in that in today's culture.
Yes. I love everything that you just said. I think that is a banner. I would hold up every single word that you just said in women and just celebrating our uniqueness and going after it. And so take us down the steps of how this came to be a lotion. Now, if you see, I actually have it sitting on my little shelf there. What's so fun is I put it on today. And for those of you listening and you can't see it, it's a bottle of lotion that actually is a sparkle lotion. It's a glimmer lotion. And she can describe it a little better than I can. But when I put it on today, my 4-year-old said, "Mom, you have sprinklers on your skin."
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
Instead of sprinkles, sprinklers. So I thought that was pretty cute.
Well, kids, that's exactly a little sparkle, sprinklers. I'll take it all. So how this started was that I kind of had a do-it-yourself routine for years. For about 10 years, I had, you started off with your base, whatever lotion you used. Then I added some shimmer, which was like iron oxide, basically, which is kind of like a sparkly powder. And then I added like glitter flecks on top. And I wore it every day because it made me happy and smile. And not because for others, but because I loved putting it on. And that was just kind of part of what I wore. So over the years and over all of my travels, everywhere I went, girls would stop and say, "Oh my gosh, like, where did you get your lotion? Like, is it this brand? Is it that brand?" I'm like, "No, it's like this kind of mixture." They're like, "Well, why don't you make it?" So we went on this journey and eventually found this cosmeceutical company out in Illinois that I met with, and that my co-founder and I met with. And we met with chemists. And after 40 samples going back and forth, we finally created the perfect lotion and bottled it. And it's like a celebration for your skin. I call it body jewelry, body bling. I wear it every day. Lots of girls would wear it maybe just for prom or their wedding or a special occasion. But it makes me happy putting it on. So I'm really glad you love it too.
Yeah, it's really, I was really surprised by how fine the lotion or the glimmer in the lotion was, so that I felt like I could be a cast member of Lord of the Rings, like one of the elf queens or something. Like, it is beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the microclave glitter is really subtle and it looks great on the beach. That's where I wear it head to toe. Otherwise, I just put it on my upper body during the day and daily wear. But yeah, at the beach, it looks so good. Like to put it on your legs and they just glisten and glow. I just love it. It makes me super happy.
So fun. So talk to me about so you have this lotion that you've been creating, and it makes, I love that the reason why you went after creating this is because how it made you feel. And that's your mission, is that it's more about giving that gift of empowerment to the people who wear it, put things on that make you feel good. So take me through the process of that. Like, how did you find a manufacturer that you liked? How did you come together with formulas? Like, this is 3 years in the making, right? Like, it took a while to get there.
It does. Yeah. The back and forth with all the samples, like it was a little dry at first, or it was too much glitter, or it was too oily. And we decided to go with this company in the United States just because it was close enough to drive back and forth to. They were excellent to work with. They have created different brands that dermatologists use. Their base was safe. I felt that the ingredients were pure, with like the shea butter, the avocado oil. And, we talked about the differences between, should we use coconut oil, avocado oil? Like, there's so many, almond oil, so many different things out there. And just the way they worked with you, like on FaceTime over and over and over again. And I just when you connect with someone and it was right. I think we went to a couple of others. I think a total of 3 before we decided on this one in Illinois.
Mm. And was that difficult? So your partner, you did a co-founding with your partner, who is also your life partner. And I know at times when I've worked with my husband, when he's helped me with tech or different things for my own business, it can get a little tricky. Maybe where you have different strengths and weaknesses, but sometimes it's seeing eye to eye on things. What's your best advice for how to work with your partner in a way that's productive and doesn't interrupt your personal life, so to speak?
Well, he's, I have to say, he's my biggest cheerleader and I'm his. And we definitely have our strengths and weaknesses, that's for sure. I'm more of the creative. I know more about social media. I'm more of the marketing creative side. And he's more of like, oh my gosh, I need you to find, an attorney for our trademark. I need you to do the licensing. He started his own companies and businesses 10 years before we met. Or even longer than that, actually about 15 years. And his companies were Stellar Development. And so he's had this word because he thought it was extremely underused. And so do I. Like, you think of a stellar athlete or a stellar performance on stage, or, a stellar performance on, I don't know, a hockey arena, or I just think that word is just something that's very underused. And so did he. And so he actually wanted to call his daughter Stellar, and she ended up to be Stella.
I love it.
Back to how we work together, it's just we really have a divide and conquer. So when it has to do with like the creative aspect of STELLARGIRL and the movement and celebrating women, and of course that's going to be more on my forte, and he works the back end, like the finances, the licensing, etc.
That's wonderful. So when you said that he had named his daughter, or he wanted to name her Stellar, you had mentioned to me previously that you are a blended family. Talk to me about how that journey of motherhood and how that came together.
Well, that is probably the biggest blessing in my life for sure. So I have a son, Brady, and he's got 3 children, Alex, Cooper, and Stella. And we met about 7 years ago when we blended our family together when I moved up to Wisconsin in I don't know, about 5 or 6 years ago. I can't believe I've been here that long. It feels like forever. But so of course it's going to have its ups and downs, but it's definitely, they're my biggest blessing. And my grandmother actually even have it tattooed on my arm right here. It says B4. And when she passed, she was probably one of the greatest influences, female influences in my life. And she says, Teri, you're going to have 4 kids. And at the time I only had one. And when I met Keith, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have 4 kids. And I've had this tattoo for about 10 years now. And so even prior to meeting him, and I just think that having all this love and life and energy in this house, and having this daughter now that can hopefully, and that can learn from, I can learn from, and then she can hopefully take this company on and make it her own one day.
No, I love that. When it comes to empowering women, and now especially your daughter, what are some messages that you wish you had learned at an earlier age, or something you carried with you that really helped you to develop into the woman you are today?
I believe that we should take care of our own 4 walls and also each other. So whether your house is 4 walls or 50 walls, you take care of what's in your family, what you hold dear, but also learn from that and then spread the love forward. So that is definitely one of the things I would love for Stella to take on and learn from. Kindness first, always, 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 always. And if we have all that love and kindness that we step forward into our lives and in anything we do first, I think we can really grow from that versus judging or anything negative whatsoever. And that's what Stellar Girl is all about. And I am thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. And I believe in this movement. I've poured my heart and soul into Stellar Girl, and the response has been overwhelmingly positive. And I can honestly say that after about 3 weeks of launching, we launched on November 9th, that I've had over 70 media requests and press requests for Stellar Girl. I think people are just needing this joy and happiness and love and laughter and positivity in their lives.
That's an incredible response. How in the world did you launch with such success?
I think because the world needs a little happy. And yes, there are highs and lows, but I focus on the positive. I really try to focus on that. And we had, didn't really know when we were going to launch. We were supposed to launch in April, and, we launched in November instead. We waited till, the dust settled. It wasn't the right time. But that's how businesses grow and develop. And we definitely have to learn from those things.
Yeah. Talk to me about getting a publicist. What are the steps of getting a publicist that reaches out for you? Because that's actually how we were connected, was a publicist reached out to connect us. And I have never had a publicist. I'm curious what the steps are to doing that.
Well, when we first thought of Stellar Girl 3 years ago, and we wanted to create this movement first, before we even had any products but we had this message. And so actually 1 year after struggling, like, what are we going to do? We have this name, Stellar Girl. What are we going to do with this name? Or how are we going to have a business over a name? And after meeting with different marketing companies, we finally found one that decided to take a chance on us and do it in reverse. Because usually you come to a marketing company with a product and say, okay, I have this product. How do we get it to market? So once we had, we created our mood boards and all the beginnings of having a marketing team, we kind of thought, well, now with the marketing team, you need a publicist to promote what you have. So we actually met with 3 or 4 in Los Angeles and 3 or 4 in LA and in New York, I apologize. And we went with our gut, and Nash and her team they've been cheerleaders of ours and champions of this brand, and we've been in contact for the past 2 years. Even though we weren't ready to hire them, she was a consultant, and she's been a great force in my life And I'm so grateful for her and her team. They've just been so positive with spreading the word about Stellar Girl.
Oh, that's awesome. I love hearing stories about women supporting women like that, even when it was just the beginning and you didn't quite have it all figured out yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did you get out of that messy middle when you were kind of like, oh, I don't know I'm not quite sure. Like, what was something that really helped guide you during that time?
What guided me was other women.
Mm.
And it's funny, and as cliche as that may sound, but that is the honest truth. Like, awesome. I wore the lotion. It was still my do-it-yourself routine, even though I had samples here and there. But still, everywhere we traveled, everywhere we went for those 3 years while we were building this brand and this company, everyone was like, "Where is that lotion? I can't believe it makes." And I just kept saying, "It makes me so happy." And they're like, "Where can I get it? Where can I get it?" And it just going, this has got to create something. This happiness and this movement about celebrating other women and having a celebration for your skin. It just resonated with so many people all over the world during our travels that I knew it in my heart that this is going to go somewhere.
That's awesome. So I know that you have traveled quite a bit and you speak 4 different languages, which is mind-blowing and so awesome to me. I wish I could speak more. What is something that you've learned that is uniting as women all over the world, and something that you've learned from different cultures around the world as you've traveled?
So I think that the takeaway from meeting all these extraordinary women is that they were all so kind. It was very rare that I met someone who was judgmental or wasn't, everyone you wanted to ask, "Oh, can we, can you take our picture?" Because, when I travel, you always don't selfies. You want people to help you out. Everyone was always so supportive and sweet. When I traveled to cultures, you respect that culture. When we were in Abu Dhabi or Dubai, when we were at the mosque, when you're in different cultures and different religions, you respect them. And when I was in Asia, in Thailand or Japan, no one spoke on the train. Everyone was just, it was their silent time. It was rude to be on the phone there. So you didn't disrespect their culture. You respected where you were. You looked out for each other. And I just found that energy that I received from them brought me such great hope as well, and joy. And as I see myself going forward in this brand and with this movement, I want this to go global. I want this message to be spread. When I heard about the first woman in Saudi Arabia getting her driver's license and being able to drive, that's something that should be celebrated.
Yes.
And so it's just so inspiring to hear all these girls' stories. And we'd sit down and, the Tours by Locals gal, and we'd talk about her and sharing her story about what she's been through and how she became to loving Budapest or wherever we were. And that's what I found. I learned so much from other women. So what I found during my travels was that there was a real human connection with all of these women when you get to talk to them and hear their stories. And I really miss that even now. But even with all these girls on their phones all the time or everything that's going on, I think it's lost. And I would love to bring that back.
So tell me, I can see that you have a huge vision for Stellar Girl. What are next steps for you? Do you have an idea of what you want to do next?
I want this message to resonate with girls globally. I think I would love to see ambassadors of this brand across the US, Canada, and go into Asia, go into I just think that, and throughout Europe, I think that celebrating extraordinary women is something that everyone and every woman, mom, young girl can relate to. I would love for this movement to just take off. And it's not about the product. It's about sharing joy and being happy and being positive and really being your true authentic self. having a stellar mindset. You really can do what you put your mind to. And having that mindset of being the best version of yourself is extremely important.
I can see that. Where do you think that that drive and that message came from? Is this something that you've had, that you developed through your childhood, like as you went into school? Where do you think this drive to connect women all over the world has come from?
I think from having an amazing, stellar mom. My mom worked throughout all of when I was younger, with my brother and I, and she was always there for us. She was a pillar of strength. And so was my grandmother, Bobby, and actually both my grandmothers. And my girlfriends and the girls and the women that I surround myself with are CEOs, are moms, are CMOs. They work hard and they have a family life. And so the energy that I got from all of these supportive girlfriends and my family has definitely made me who I am today. I've learned so much from them and listened to them and what their thoughts were. It's just that it's like this girl and this sisterhood of my girlfriends and the sisterhood of having all these stellar women in my life, I think has really made me who I am today.
I can see that. Tell me about your time that you spent at the School Art Institute of Chicago. Did you go to college there? Was that secondary, like master's, or what?
No, I wish I was able to go to that school. I was asked to be on the board of the Art Institute. It's called the Fashion Council. So it's a committee that supports the students of the school. So SAIC is the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, and they have fashion photography, sculpting, art. So it's an art school. Obviously, the Art Institute of Chicago is a huge museum, but they have a school that pairs with it. And when I was a style editor at Naperville Magazine in Illinois, I was asked to be on the board as a fashion maven and a fashion enthusiast, because I love fashion. I think it expresses everything you do and how you present yourself to the world, and it's fun to get dressed up for me. So when they asked me in 2009, I just served the board and served the students, and they are such talented young men and women, and they create this huge fashion show every single year. We didn't have one last year, but we raise money for the scholarships for the kids, and that has been my passion and my project since 2009, since I was asked to be on the board.
That's amazing. I love to hear about your involvement and how you can see that you're so passionate about expressing yourself and also giving back. And that is really incredible. If you were to... go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you.
Just hearing you say that and the smile on your face and seeing you on camera, like I just can tell the kindness and the energy from your heart and the love that you do as well. I don't know, you've been so incredible and great during all of this, and thank you.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. One thing I was wanting to ask you is, if someone was in your situation of wanting to create a product and they have this idea, but they don't know where to start, what would be your top 3, like, get started this way, but make sure not to do this? Like, do you have like a warning in that step-by-step process?
Trust your gut. If they have a product that they want to build, whether it's a clothing line or a beauty product, or any dream that person may have, I think you got to trust your gut and think, okay, this is going to work for me. Bounce it off everyone you know.
Yes.
Your family, your friends, your girlfriends, whoever comments about it. Something you're wearing, whether it's, in my case, it was the lotion. But what if you're a fashion designer from the Art Institute and you're wearing that, and someone comments on it? And I think that I think that's sort of how you have to reaffirm that this is something that will work, and to never give up on trying to make that happen. We have the internet at our fingertips. You can pretty much Google anything, how to make your do-it-yourself this or that. And you can get resources from there, but I definitely start with the people within your circle, or reach out and ask for help. There are mentor programs everywhere. Go to an old teacher, find someone that you look up to and ask them for help. And, if they're not ready to offer it to you, then go to the next person and just don't give up. Just don't give up.
Just don't give up. I love it. Any pitfalls or warnings that you would give?
Focus on the positive. Of course, there's going to be highs and lows. That's life.
Yeah.
Right. But if you have that stellar mindset, if you put your mind to it, if you think that I can be the best at this, or I can do better at this, then it's been ingrained in me to just never, ever give up. Just don't take no for an answer.
That's really good advice.
Keep on going.
I think a lot of times, in my experience too, especially working with small children and the ins and outs of every day, I've found that every day can't always be about work, and every day can't always be about family. But some days, there are days where you have to pick and choose and kind of, navigate that and just do the best you can, with just like anything else. So I love that slow grind, just keep going even when you feel knocked down.
The 90-10 rule. I live on a 90-10 rule. So if there's out of the 9, there's 10 days and I have one bad one, or one not bad one, maybe one that's not as perfect as the other 9 a moment, it's a really good 10 days. So if I have 3 off days in the whole month, because nothing's going to be perfect in life, that is just something that is, people who live in that reality is it's not my reality, that's for sure. As a mom and as a working mom, I'm not only like the CEO of my company, but I'm the CEO of the house.
Yes.
And of myself. And you have to take accountability. And there are going to be those moments. So that's why I always do the 90-10 rule. Okay, so how many out of these 10 days were there a couple moments that were just not as great as the other ones? And accept that, inhale it, and exhale it out. And you just go on to the next day.
I love that 90-10 rule. What is one way that you really refuel and recharge for yourself? If you've had one of those days, you've had one of those months, or whatever it might be, what is a way that you take time to refuel and recharge for yourself?
For me, I love to move. Movement is key. Healthy and happy body, healthy and happy heart. So for me, I love to exercise, even if it's movement, even if it's a walk with the dog for a mile. I love a good workout. I love a good sweat session, but that's me. So I also light a candle. And for me, just having this is a reminder of Stellar Girl, because shine bright is one of the taglines I use all the time. Let your stellar shine. And whether you let your stellar shine through your kids that day, because you're more of a mom than a workhorse that day, or you let your stellar shine through somebody else because they need that more than you, or you let your stellar shine in because you need to take care and you need to have self-care that day. So I remind myself constantly that we're all blessed, and we're all blessed in different ways. And so for me, my out and is definitely a sweat session, but a candle definitely helps me as well.
That's cool. I light a candle every night as like my ritual going to bed at night. It's kind of like, okay, the kids are finally in bed, and I light that candle like this is me time. So I love that you keep one rotating with you. Maybe I need to start doing that.
Always.
So I want to hear more about what's up and coming with your brand. What do you have new products coming out? What are you excited about?
So for our winter season, we have beanies coming out, and I love them. They're like these knit acrylic beanies. They're cable knit, and they have a detachable palm, so you can
amazing.
Pull that right off. I'm gonna wreck my hair, but don't care.
Yeah.
And they comes in white as well. and also gray. So they're just so comfortable and cozy and not too tight on the head. We've had our Stellar Girl ball cap. So we have this one as well.
Cute.
And a Stellar Girl necklace to show your Stellar Girl.
Very fun. And so are these products all on STELLARGIRL.com?
Yes. So on the shop page on STELLARGIRL.com, you can find these products. The beanie's launching in November, at the end of November. And then the rest of them are already up and on there.
Perfect. So by the time that this airs, all of that will be there. So you can check it out right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, it's been so good to speak with you today. Where can our community come and find you and support Stellar Girl?
Well, this movement is STELLARGIRL.com. You can join the community on our website. We can also be found at Stellar Girl Official on Instagram, Stellar Girl on Facebook as well, Stellar Girl on Twitter. And I'm really am blessed to have met you, Camille. I think you're also an awesome Stellar Girl and a great mom. And I really enjoyed our time today.
Oh, thank you. I so appreciate that. And thank you for giving me the badge of Stellar Girl. I'm going to take that with me and put on my sprinklers, as my son says.
Take your sprinklers, take your sparkles. Stellar Girls always leave a little glitter behind.
They do. We were giving each other kisses, and he went to preschool today with some sprinkles on his face. Sparkles on his face.
Sparklers or sprinklers.
Sparklers or sprinklers, all of it.
Love it. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We will add all of this information to the show notes if you have any questions so that you can follow along, and we'll check in with you next week.
Thank you so much.
Hey CEOs, thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you found this episode inspiring or helpful, please let me know in a comment and a 5-star review. You could have the chance of being a featured review on an upcoming episode. Continue the conversation on Instagram at Call Me CEO Podcast. And remember, you are the boss.